You are tuned in to On Air with Chris Janafel. Welcome back On Air with Chris Janafel as we continue our Player Spotlight series with the 2020 NFL Draft Class. And I'm now joined by the quarterback out of Tarleton State University. He's Ben Holmes. And Ben, I appreciate you taking the time to chat. How's everything going on your end during this crazy time of the year?
Well, first off, thanks for having me. And it's going well. Obviously, with all this coronavirus stuff going around, you know, it kind of stinks for us smaller school prospects and getting in front of scouts and whatnot. But I was fortunate enough to do UB's Pro Day, so I kind of don't really have to worry about all that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Really big blow to smaller school prospects. You were fortunate. You were able to participate in the University of Buffalo Pro Day earlier in the week. But before we get to the preparation of the draft, Ben, I want to familiarize our listeners on the player and the person that we're speaking with. You're from Orchard Park, New York. Coming out of high school, you actually took the JUCO route as you attended Nassau Community College for a couple of years, where you're not only named Freshman of the Year, but you're named Player of the Year, as well as All-American. You hold Nassau records for passing, completions, and rushing yards by a quarterback. How was your experience playing JUCO ball, and how did you ultimately land at Tarleton State?
Well, first off, coming out of high school, I had zero offers for anything. So I was real under the radar type of guy. Fortunate enough, Coach Ossoff at Nassau was the head coach. He gave me a call, and I didn't even think twice about it. I just went down and I just wanted to play ball and compete. And my first year there, we had a really, really good team. Won a lot of games. Sophomore year, same thing. And then ultimately, I finally got those offers coming in. I got the big D1 offers. I had Louisville, Memphis, Kansas, all that. Ended up choosing Stony Brook out of Nassau. And then, unfortunately, my mom got really sick. Had to go home and take care of her, so I couldn't go to Stony Brook. And I was kind of just sitting around for a year. My Division I clock was running up, and I got a direct message on Twitter from Tate Witten, which is the receivers coach at Tarleton, and the rest is history. So I knew I just wanted to continue playing after Nassau, and I didn't really choose Tarleton. They kind of chose me. So.
And the rest was history. It seems to have worked out in your favor. First year at Tarleton, Ben, you were the team's practice quarterback, and then in 2018, you were voted team MVP by your teammates as you threw for over 2,600 yards, 28 touchdowns, and you did damage on your feet as well. You rushed for 500 yards and 2 more scores. You guys finished the regular season 10-0 before making a deep run in the Division II playoffs. It'll probably go down as the best season in program history. How were you able to help bring this program to new heights your first year as a starter, Ben? And that was technically your senior season. Were you playing every game that season in 2018 with the thought that it may just be your final year playing?
Correct, I was. I was taking every game as though it was going to be my last. And as far as the team aspect of it, our team was really, really good. Had a really good defense, which helps. Had a really good O-line. Receivers were really good. So that kind of just made my job easy as far as just being a game manager. Taking the game that I came with from Nassau, is using my feet, and was a scrambler, and just kind of try to use it at Tarleton State. And the coaching staff there is unbelievable, and they just really made us. They put us in really good spots and really good positions to win. So it wasn't just me taking them to new heights. It was a whole collective group effort. So
yeah, well said, and. I know it was about 2 or 3 weeks before the start of the 2019 season, I believe, Ben, when you got word that you were granted another year of eligibility. I mean, what was that waiting process like leading up to the season? How nerve-wracking was it, especially as the season crept closer and closer? And how were you able to make sure you were ready to go week 1 against Stephen F. Austin?
It was probably the worst stretch of time that I can remember. It was, am I going to play or not? Am I going to have to try and find a job? What am I going to do? But, the strength staff there, Coach Cole and Coach Sharp, they kept me ready. They always knew in the back of their minds that I was going to get that extra year, but with the NCAA, you never know. The coaching staff was great. They were always supportive. My lawyer that we hired, Jason Setchin, he was unbelievable, and his team got the final answer of yes, and what he did for me was just unbelievable. But, as far as the mental side of it, I kind of knew in the back of my mind that I was going to get that extra year. So I just had to stay ready and prepare like I was going to play. And it was actually a week before our first game at SFA that I got the nod that I was going to be able to play again. So I was practicing with the team. Coach Witten did an unbelievable job with sharing reps and getting the guys that maybe weren't going to play if I played, get them reps and just get me prepared as well as he could. But it was just a real nerve-wracking time, like I said. But, everyone around us did a really good job of just kind of keeping me level-headed and on the right track.
Over 3,300 passing yards, 34 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions on the season. The connection that you had with wide receiver Zamari Manning was just unstoppable all throughout the Division II ranks. You guys connected 68 times for over 1,400 yards and 22 touchdowns. He's going through this draft process as well, one of my favorite wide receivers in this very talented receiver class. Talk about the connection you two had on the field, Ben, and how much of a confidence booster is it when you have a dominating wide receiver on the outside such as Manning?
Yeah, Zamari is a special talent. He's kind of once-in-a-lifetime receiver. As a quarterback, he's your best friend on and off the field, and he was for me. Coming in day one, we came in as juniors together, and I knew instantly that this kid was next-level talent. And it was kind of my job to get a good connection with him early, and we did junior year, and then senior year we just kind of took off. But we did the extra reps. We practiced like it was game time situations. We would come up with our own little signals, and at one point it felt like I just knew what he was going to do, and he knew what I was going to do, and it just was a special connection, and probably will go down as one of the best receivers at Tarleton State. And I was so blessed to be able to have him for 2 years, and he's just like I said, just an unbelievable talent, and confidence-wise, when I drop back, I know I can throw it up pretty much anywhere, and he's going to come down with it. So for me, that it made my job so much easier.
Again, he's the 2020 NFL Draft Prospect quarterback out of Tarleton State University, Ben Holmes. And Ben, it was another undefeated season for the Tarleton State Texans. You led the team to an 11-0 regular season record. So for those keeping track, you hadn't lost a regular season game since being named the team starting quarterback in 2018. You guys play in one of the better conferences in Division II as well, in the Lone Star Conference. Of course, next season, Tarleton State will be playing in the Southland Conference of the FCS. How's it feel, and I know you alluded to it earlier, it's not just you that has brought this program to new heights, but for you, Ben, how's it feel to leave the program in a better place than it was when you first arrived back in 2017?
Well, it feels great. When I was there in 2017, I kind of saw the team go through some struggles and whatnot, and I knew once I got my shot, I wasn't going to let that happen. And you said it best, leave it better than you came in, and that's what I think I did. You just try and set an example for those younger guys that they recruited, those freshmen. Give them someone to look up to, and hopefully that when it's all said and done, that they can say that they looked up to me, and I kind of paved the way for the next years to come as far as winning and winning championships and whatnot. So.
And now your collegiate career is officially a wrap. The plan was for you to participate in 3 pro days, those being the University of Buffalo's pro day, which was last week, as well as the Tarleton State pro day and even the Baylor pro day that would have taken place later on this month. Those two, unfortunately, look like they will not be taking place. But as I said, luckily, the Buffalo pro day was March 11th, about a day before the country was put on a standstill. Where exactly were you preparing at for your pro day, Ben? And overall, how do you feel about the way that you performed at that Buffalo Pro Day?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm training up in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan. I'm training with a guy named Jim Kilbasso. He does my strength and speed work and nutrition and all that. And then my quarterback coach, well, it's kind of quarterback coach by committee. It's Donovan Dooley and Ryan Van Dyke. They have together Quarterback University, and they've done an unbelievable job with me on the field, but also cerebral work on the board, kind of getting me ready for the mental aspect of the NFL and whatnot. And I'm also staying with a host family, the trainer family. They're unbelievable. They've taken me in like I'm their own. But getting ready for UB, it's pro day. I had to get my 40 down. I had to get my shuttle down, and all that stuff that you have to do. But also throwing the ball as well. And those guys helped me tremendously. But UB pro day went really well. I think. And my agent said this as well, I think everybody kind of went in knowing a little bit about me, but they left remembering me. And I did better than I thought I was going to do. Maybe I had 3 of them, so maybe this one was going to be a trial by error. And I was really nervous. But, once I started throwing the ball, everybody kind of stopped what they were doing and watching me. And it made me a little bit more nervous, but it made me throw the ball a lot better. And I had really good feedback from a couple scouts, actually, and I wasn't even expecting to talk to them at all because, obviously, I've never been through a pro day. I didn't know what to expect. And, me being a Division II guy, I didn't know if I was even going to get a look or not. And, it was cool for them to come up to me and share some words with me and whatnot. So I thought I did really well, better than I thought I was going to do. But, it all attributes to my training and all that. So. But yeah, I'm glad that I was able to do it. Really blessed because I know a lot of guys now won't be able to get that opportunity.
Yeah, and you had 2 more opportunities coming up again at Tarleton, at Baylor. Unfortunately, those may not take place, is what it's looking like, but you did get this University of Buffalo Pro Day out of the way, and you completed 30 of 32 total passes to wide receivers that you had no prior work with, no chemistry with, as far as I'm concerned. So that makes it even more impressive. Was there a certain part of your game, a certain element of your game, Ben, that you wanted to show off to these teams that were in attendance?
Yeah, I wanted to show off arm strength and arm talent. I've never taken a snap under center, and every single snap I took at UB's Pro Day was under center. So I wanted to show them I could do that, but also make the NFL type throws, those 18-yard, 20-yard comeback routes, those play action pass routes. All the stuff that the NFL guys do that I never did at Tarleton. So that was my main focus, and I think I did that really well.
Absolutely, and obviously for quarterbacks, the main thing is obviously the on-field work. But you mentioned it, as you were preparing for your pro day, you wanted to work on your 40 time, you wanted to work on your shuttle time. How'd those events go? How did those drills go? And have you gotten any final results back, any final numbers back yet from that University of Buffalo pro day? Yeah, so
my vertical jump was a 30, which went up tremendously from when I started. My 40-yard dash was a 4.79, and that went down as well. And then my shuttle was a 4.47. And I think I was looking at all those numbers and putting them all together with the guys that went to the combine or had a pro day. And, I'm right there with the top of the guys, the big D1 guys. So, I measured in at 5'11". I'm undersized kid. But, I think the NFL is kind of shifting into the shorter quarterbacks. 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't even have a shot. I'd probably be told to play receiver. But now, the Baker Mayfields, the Russell Wilsons, the Kyler Murrays are all kind of making their way into the NFL and doing really well and making life for short quarterbacks, making it reasonable, making it something that we can actually look to. So.
Yeah, I mean, the past couple of years, the number 1 overall pick was quarterbacks that were viewed as undersized. Kyler Murray by the Arizona Cardinals last year, and then Baker Mayfield the year prior. You mentioned that you were able to meet with a couple of teams following your pro day performance at the University of Buffalo. Ben, what exactly was the feedback like that you received following your workout? And, any idea how the NFL is viewing you as a prospect currently?
I don't know what they're viewing me as right now. I don't know round-wise or undrafted free agent, but, the guy that worked out with me the most was the Broncos scout. He was the one telling me what kind of passes to throw and kind of taking me through my whole workout. And afterwards, he just kind of said, I haven't seen a release like yours in a long time. Mine's really quick. It's really short. I get it out really fast. But my pace on the ball is really, I throw a hard ball. And that's, I think, what everyone was kind of just coming up to me and saying, like, hey, you have an NFL arm. Your release is unbelievable. It's some I've never seen before. And, like the Bears, the Broncos, the Packers, Lions, the Bucks, a couple other teams were kind of just said the same thing, like, we'll be in touch for sure. Your ball is just unbelievable how you throw the ball and whatnot. And I'm not trying to boost myself up or anything, but that's just kind of what they said. And, I never really knew what an NFL team would say until they say it. And I'm just glad that all the work I've put in is starting to pay off and getting some feedback and all that. And there was a couple CFL teams there as well. I found out I'm on Toronto's neg list. I don't know how I got on it, but they have my rights. So that's always good to hear. If nothing in the NFL really works out, I would take a shot at the CFL as well. I just want to keep playing football and just keep competing. So.
Absolutely, and definitely appreciate the insight there, Ben. A few more questions for the 2020 NFL Draft prospect, quarterback Ben Holmes out of Tarleton State University, coming off of an impressive showing at the University of Buffalo Pro Day. Ben, for you, when did it hit you that you're going to pursue a professional football career? I'm sure it's always been the dream, but now you're getting pretty close to achieving that dream. Obviously, still nothing guaranteed, but your chances are looking pretty solid to get that shot at the next level. When did you decide that this could you could turn this dream into a reality?
It was my junior year at Tarleton. It was, well, actually, I guess it would be my first junior year, if you will, when I was a redshirt at Tarleton. Coming off the couch in Buffalo and coming down there and kind of getting back into football. And then my junior year, getting able to play. And, they always say how Texas football is bigger, better, and faster. And obviously coming from New York in a small town in Orchard Park, maybe our football wasn't as good as some of those guys down there. But, I showed that I could compete at a high level and win a starting job at a Texas school. And, that conference is no joke. And my senior year, going into it, I was kind of like, all right, if I dominate this year, our conference and make a run, I'm going to take a real long, hard thought about giving it my all into the NFL. And, I won Conference Player of the Year this past season, broke a bunch of records, and I was kind of like, all right, well, I'm going to take a shot at it. And because in 3 or 4 years from now, I can't look back and say, I'm going to try and take a shot. It's now or never. So I kind of put work mode on hold and just tried to really focus in on the NFL or CFL, whoever wants to take a shot on me, and that's kind of when I made the decision, was right after the season, after my results from this past season and getting some feedback from some coaches and stuff like that.
And now here we are. We're less than 40 days away from the 2020 NFL Draft. It's supposed to kick off on April 23rd. We'll see if anything changes, though, now with this coronavirus. There were some rumors late last night that they plan on rescheduling and pushing the draft back. I don't know if those reports have been confirmed or not. But anyways, we're getting down to crunch time, and again, your chances are looking great, especially now following this impressive showing at the University of Buffalo Pro Day. For those not familiar with your game, Ben, how would you describe it? What would you say is the biggest strength that you bring to the quarterback position?
I would say the biggest strength as a quarterback for me would be my accuracy. I've always been able to kind of put a ball wherever I want, and it goes wherever I want. So that and my arm strength, being able to extend a play, but probably my accuracy would be my best trait right now.
All right, and obviously you need some pretty good accuracy to play at the next level. How about this? Most memorable play that you've made throughout your collegiate career? You could go back to your JUCO days, or it could be a play from the past 2 years at Tarleton. What's the first play that'll come to mind, looking back 5, 10, 15 years down the road?
Probably this past season. I needed one touchdown to break the record for most touchdowns in the season by a Tarleton quarterback. And, I was the whole week getting prepared for it. I was like, really thinking about it. And it took me one play to do it. So, that's kind of the most special play. And, Zamari, of course, caught it. So it made it more special for me. So, but yeah, just needing one touchdown and needing one play to do it was pretty cool. So probably that one.
Awesome. Final question. Let's say we have all 32 NFL general managers. They're listening to this very interview. Why should they want the quarterback out of Tarleton State University, Ben Holmes, a part of their team?
They know that they're going to get a competitor and someone that will do whatever it takes to win. And they're not going to have to worry about me on or off the field. I'm going to handle myself in a professional manner in both aspects. And they're going to get a guy that wants to win and compete, like I said, and just be an all-around team player and just help the organization the best I can. So.
Well said, well said. Ben, really appreciate you taking the time. Congratulations on a very successful collegiate career, beginning at Nassau Community College and wrapping up at Tarleton State University, going down as probably the best quarterback to ever wear the colors there at Tarleton State, and the run that you guys have had the past couple of years, very impressive, as now the program goes into the FCS ranks. Congrats on the success at the University of Buffalo Pro Day. We'll see what the next month and a half holds for you. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on everything, and wishing you all the best, man.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on the show. Really, really means a lot.